Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, season 5, episode 10. We are charging through. We got new characters from a new show
Yes,
to enjoy. I loved
yes.
it. I loved every second.
I don't think I ever noticed them like if they're the Summer House show.
Yeah.
Because I started Summer House way after it was like 3 seasons in or something.
Oh, maybe I did too. I
I think
can't
I started
remember.
actually in the pandemic, which is
Oh,
wild
oh,
because
I
we
think you did.
quickly started the podcast in
I
in
think
that.
I think I watched the first season of Summer House and then dropped off because I caught up later. Because I
You're
remember us
right.
texting about season 3 catching
Yes.
up.
Yep.
Okay, so who cares? But I'm very excited to see. Now we know who they are. I was excited to see our friends.
This is way more of a natural start than
This
I
was
ever
great.
knew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was awesome. Before we get into it, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have, speaking of, Summer is Fun, a Summer House
Mhm.
podcast, which we do cover the episode that this rolls right into.
Heck yes, we do.
And our Summer House podcast also does Winter House and Martha's Vineyard. And then we also have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Vanderpasta, and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever the hell we want because it's our show and we can. And also you'll get access to any episodes we record early, including this one.
Mm-hmm.
For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and watch old seasons of shows, such as this one, we will do an after show where we can openly talk about any Bravo news we want to do, which I think is getting good now that we got a flow of what we're looking for.
I think
now.
we're also better about not talking about Bravo stuff on our pre-show, and so it
Yes.
all concentrates there.
All Bravo.
And we watch a lot of Bravo.
We watch a ton of Bravo.
Yeah.
And then also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to, hang on, it's loading. Okay, thank you to Chris, Darby, Dee, Dustin, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Lauren, Sarah, Cameron, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Jennifer H, Jennifer T, Jessie, Leanne, Rebecca, Rio, Robin, Sarah, and Taylor. I really lost breath there, but
breath.
no, I lost it. I was really about to die. But thank you guys. I can't do it in one breath. I'll try again. Maybe
No,
practice will make perfect.
Here's the thing. That is also like a benchmark for us of how many breaths does Alicia have to take in the list of people. So
yeah,
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I'm not mad. Now we'll just do it all the time, and Meredith will be ready for it.
I will forget every time until you do it, and I'll die every time.
And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when there's live shows, or if I'm feeling bored, I'll post in Patreon for our $5 a month patrons. I'll ask questions, thoughts, opinions, whatever, and you get to answer, and we'll read it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we'll pick a patron of the episode, which I have not thought about. So I'm gonna play this game again.
Yeah, I want to do it again.
Do. Okay, Meredith,
Stop.
whenever. Ooh, we got Jenna. Or no, wait, that's a $2 tier. Go again.
Stop. No whammies.
Lauren.
Woohoo!
Lauren
That
is
goes
our
great.
patron of the episode.
Because we meet Lauren Workus. Well, I guess we already met her, but we get to see Lauren Workus.
And if you just stick with Vanderpump, we're now meeting Lauren Workus. We're picking Lauren.
Yep.
What did we call it last episode? We were like, that's Meredith's magical pick or something like that. So weird.
Oh, magical touch. It was creepy.
Oh, I was going to say, it sounded dirtier when I first said it. But
yes,
the magic touch. Yeah. So thanks, Lauren. Okay, great. Should we get into the episode? I'm so excited.
Let's do it.
I really liked this episode because I really love the Summer House friends. I think they're greatly cast. Especially this first season.
Fun to the crew on the East Coast, and we desperately needed them to have some fun.
Oh my god. Yes. And they brought the vibes down. Vanderpump. Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in them. But I mean, we're also in season 5 and Summer House has to, kick it off good. So
I guess, but Vanderpump brought Summer House down. I was like, Jesus
No,
Christ.
I know. I'm like, come on, guys. You guys used to be so fun.
Let's get into it. So previously on Vanderpump Rules, we met Lauren and Ashley Workus. Also, I will say, known as the Workus Circus, which I love.
Yes.
And they invited Stassi and the girls to Montauk. Stassi and Patrick aren't together, and she's ready to move on, but hasn't found anyone yet. Even though it's been like 5 minutes since her and Patrick broke up. Like, of course,
I
she
need a
hasn't
better
found anyone.
timeline on this. Again, I don't care because we're not getting enough details.
I
So then I'm
don't
like, give me
care.
nothing.
I don't care. Ariana's birthday got an RV, and they're going to NASCAR, but Lala dipped on NASCAR, possibly for her boyfriend. Sheena isn't doing anything at Stassi's birthday and is bringing down the vibes. Jax
Yes.
is tired of being near Brittany and he's self-sabotaging. He hates
Majorly.
her.
It
Convince
went
me.
really bad this episode. I was kind
He
of
hates her.
shocked.
Yeah, he hates her. Okay, so we're in Montauk. Stassi didn't even wake up hungover, but now she's kind of feeling it. But Katie's
That
like,
happens to me sometimes
same.
where I'm like, I'm good. And then the nausea slowly seeps in and you're like,
Yep,
I'm not.
not good. So Katie gets a beer to try and counteract it.
I
So
understand.
Stassi's really upset because she's the only single one. Um, then we cut to Sheena, who had fun last night. Or no. They talk about whether Sheena had fun last night because she doesn't drink or do anything. And then we learned that Katie was really drunk and she didn't yell at anyone because she wasn't like Tequila Katie yet. But Stassi's very scared to go out around Katie. And that to me is a problem if your friends don't want to
Yeah.
be near you when you're drunk.
And it's not just Sheena saying it. So like Katie
It's
can't
Stassi,
really.
yeah.
Yes, that means it has to be decently bad, and like for a good chunk of time, where like even Stassi's constantly worried about it.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Katie
Ugh.
here. So Patrick and Stassi were together for 3 years. She's not the type of person to make out with random people, but she wants a distraction. And to that I say, Stassi girl, make out with anyone. You don't have to sleep with anyone, but a makeout slut, we all love that. We support it.
Especially on the East Coast, you're not in your like city where you could like quote unquote be seen by someone. Like I know
Yeah.
you're on a TV show, so this is a little different, but like you're on a
will
trip. This is fun.
I will literally make out with anyone. I think a makeout is so harmless. I
I
love.
won't. I really made out with a lot of people in bars in college, and I really reined myself in when I became an adult. And so it weirds me out to be like kissed. I'm not a big PDA person. Like it was only like in dark, crowded corners of bars, but
Yeah.
still people saw that. Now I hate PDA, so
I'll do
I'm
it.
really bad at kissing people.
I'll make out in public if I'm drunk.
I won't even hold boys'
My
hands in public.
Okay. My only thing, I won't hold boys' hands. But if you're hammered at the bar and someone leans in, I'm down.
I will like do a peck, but I will not like make out with someone.
I'm down to make out.
Mm-mm.
But where was I going with this? You keep distracting me. I don't know where I was going with this. So
you're down to make out with boys in bars.
Yeah, but I had something going off of that, and now I don't know because you kept being like, "I won't even hold hands." We're not talking about that. We're talking about being a makeout slut. I don't know where I was going.
I'm just saying, I'm Stassi and you're Katie. Like you're championing this, and Stassi's like,
Oh, no, I don't think that's what I was gonna say. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So, Stassi though, she doesn't really have game because she tells guys that she spray tans once a week, loves a good blowout, and her exercise is online shopping. Oh, and she's really into murder. And Katie's like,
hell yeah.
I probably wouldn't date you either. But Stassi's like, so what do I do? So Katie's trying to be like, instead of saying murder, maybe say like true crime. And Stassi's like, but I do love murder in cemeteries.
In the day and age that this came out, I get the pivot from murder. Now I feel like you can just let the murder flag fly. You're like, I love murder. I don't
There's
love
so
murdering.
much murder out there. Yeah.
Just love murder.
I love murder.
And maybe a smattering of murdering.
But yeah, so Stassi is very upset because no one would date her. And Katie's basically trying to get Stassi to see, like, it's fine. Like, don't worry about Patrick. Let's just make out. It's harmless. Anyway, so we go to Sonoma Raceway. The RV is absolutely trashed. It stinks.
I don't understand how it got to. It's been one night.
I know, it's disgusting. This is why I wouldn't want to live in this
when
RV.
When they say the fridge smells, I'm like, how?
How? What do you just buy 2 days
Everything's
ago?
fresh still.
What'd you put in there?
Is the fridge working? Because if it's cold, how do things smell?
How do things go bad in one night? And then Brittany's eating Pringles straight from the can first thing in the morning. You know what, I respect.
I understand this. I need some
I
after
get it.
binge drinking, especially the amount of tequila she had. You
Yeah, I
need
get it.
something in your stomach when
I
you
get
wake
it.
up.
Jax and Brittany are fighting because Jax isn't doing what Brittany asked, and Jax isn't happy with how Brittany is folding. And
Uh,
so
I could not handle this. Like, it seems like she's packing his suitcase, which I don't fully understand. Why are we
she is.
packing things? But maybe it's because there's so much stuff you like have to keep it in your suitcase.
Yeah,
But
you
I would.
can't just let your stuff free ball.
No, I get it, but I just don't understand why we're folding things, especially if it's his
Yeah.
stuff. Like, just let it be. Just shove it in the suitcase and shove it on top of the bed.
And she tells him to get something on top of the bed, and he doesn't because he's unhappy with how she's folding. And Schwartz is basically like, they both need to separate from each other because
Jax
they're gonna
needs to
kill
just
each
leave her
other.
alone.
And then Jax tries to shower, but the boys keep opening up the partition.
That was funny.
And then Brittany's like, I need to shower. Can you hurry up? And she goes in there, and then like there's no water left.
I think
And
he turned off the water.
how do you do that? He would have
I
to
don't
leave, right?
I don't understand how an RV works, but like later Ariana mentions him turning it off.
Well, they just keep saying like he definitely turned it off.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't know how that would work, but either way, then they give her like just half drank water bottles to wash herself down with. I'd be pissed. This is where I would call a taxi and be like, get me out of here.
Same. Like, I can be the butt of a joke pretty decently well, but like when you're like when you're constantly doing it and it's interfering with me just trying to get ready for the day,
And it's
I'm
from
gonna
my
lose it.
partner relentlessly.
Yes.
Don't come at me.
I'm bad at like making jokes at my like whoever I like's expense, and so like I do need to rein it in sometimes, but like this is not the moment. Like, I can read the room and see this is not the moment in time.
This
We're
was
all
horrible.
trying to go to a fucking race.
Yeah. So now we're back in Montauk. Kristen heard that Montauk is very waspy, but she doesn't know what that means because wasps suck. So she hopes that like
Kristen, oh, I love you, girl. You're really
love
serving it on this trip.
I sent Meredith a TikTok that was basically like shitting on Kristen, but it was so funny.
I didn't see it. Oh my god,
I love
it.
It was only like 10 seconds, but it was so funny. Okay, so Stassi tells them that the Workus twins are throwing a clam bake on the beach and they're gonna go. And Kristen's concerned because she's a vegetarian and she doesn't eat animals, and Stassi's like, clams aren't even like real animals, so that's okay. Clams are animals.
God. They are animals. Them like trying to figure out what a clam bake is. How do they not know this?
I think West Coast doesn't have clam bakes.
I get it, but like, where in the Midwest are we doing clam bakes?
The thing is, you could infer that a clam bake is clams, so probably other types of seafood. Yeah. And it's you're probably not baking. I mean, the clams have probably already been baked. And
I understand them vibe checking it whenever they Google it to be like, how formal is this?
What are we wearing? Yeah.
But they're like very focused on like what the food's going to be, for it not really mattering anyways, because half of them don't eat seafood.
Well, Sheena's then like, I don't like clams, and Stassi's like, okay, pretend. And then they all shit on Sheena for like, they're like, Sheena, you have to be social tonight. And Sheena's like, well, obviously I'm gonna like talk to them. And they're like, okay, but when you're being social, be yourself, but like less of yourself. And I was like, guys rude.
That's rude. A really mean comment. I think Sheena does need to step it up a bit on this trip, and they need to. But here's the thing: as a friend, you need to know what buttons to push, up positive buttons to push to pull out the fun version of your friends or like whoever you're with.
Yeah, and listen, Sheena, I get it. The vibes are low, but what Sheena can do is she can show up at a party and schmooze. Okay, Sheena loves to talk, and this is a party where she doesn't know anyone, so a lot of the questions are going to be like, "Tell us about yourself," and Sheena will do fine here
all day. But she does need to shut the hell up about not liking seafood. Like, just that is a comment.
Her and Kristen, shut the hell up.
Just pretend
there will be a salad that you can eat.
Yes, and like with most of these, like, because Stassi mentions like the crawfish boils, there's always like sometimes other stuff,
like a mac and cheese
in it, mixed
like,
in there.
Yeah, I'm with. Listen, as someone who loves seafood, this is my dream to go to
Me
clam
too.
bake. I love
and all of these. It's always a positive vibe when there's a clam bake, a crawfish boil, some type of just like bonanza of seafood. I am in.
You can't go wrong.
No.
So I would honestly prefer a crawfish boil because they do those on Southern Charm, and you
Oh,
basically just throw it onto a
love.
table and start
Yes.
sucking the crawfish. Whereas a clam bake is usually more upscale.
Yes. I do love the
Also,
vibes around a table, and they get potatoes and corn and,
yeah,
like, andouille sausage. Wow,
yeah.
I'm hungry. My mouth
Also,
is watering.
weird thought, but in the Cheaper by the Dozen 2 movie,
Oh,
they have
lord.
a clam bake, and that's how I learned what a clam bake was.
That's what I'm saying, like, culturally, it's
We
mentioned.
know what clam bakes are. Okay, so
I knew.
so funny. So now we go to NASCAR. We're immediately chugging beers. We're eating what looks like pulled pork and
Yes.
chili also. Everyone's looking at the cars. They get a picture with Austin Dillon, who I have no idea who that is, but like
Okay,
shout out
something came to me. NBC had to be airing this race, like, on the
because
normal
yeah,
NBC. They had
yeah.
so much access to this
To
thing
the
that I don't
race,
think they normally would've.
they had like car access. Like when the race was
Yes.
happening, they had shots, and I was like, no
Mhm.
way.
And meeting this guy, I was like, this was clearly set up. Like, there was nobody else around
Austin
them,
Dillon doesn't give
really.
a fuck about these people.
No, no,
Do we
like,
think though that they're big NASCAR people? Because Jax and Tom were like, "Oh, it's Austin Dillon."
I
Like,
think
who
so.
the hell? I don't know anyone who watches NASCAR religiously, and I'm from the Midwest.
I know. I do know people who watch, well, I don't know if it's NASCAR, but they're really into like car racing. Like my family's from
F1's
southern
different.
Indiana.
Oh,
No,
oh,
not that version.
that's
Yeah.
NASCAR probably.
Yes. So they're definitely into it, but I mean, I've been to a NASCAR race. The vibes were exactly what they're
Vibes
portraying
are
here.
high. Vibes are high.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Sandoval gets his flat iron signed by
I
Andrew
thought
or
about you,
Austin Dillon.
Alicia, in
I
this
thought
exact
about you.
moment because for
Meredith and
everybody
I
doesn't know, we went to a trivia night and we got this question wrong.
I thought it was a hair dryer,
I
and I
we
immediately regretted it.
I know, I
Uh,
know. I just watched this whole moment. I also thought how annoying to drag around a flat
a
iron
flat iron,
like for half the day.
a whole flat iron. I
You
that man was not wearing a bag.
No, it was probably in Ariana's purse.
That's annoying.
And when you use it, are you like, hell yeah, that guy signed my flat iron? Why a
Yeah,
flat
us,
iron?
my favorite NASCAR racer,
Like so many other things
signed.
to sign.
So they're watching the race from pit row. They're so excited. Schwartz though gathers everyone and wants to know who's willing to show boobs if it comes to that. And Jax volunteers Brittany, but Brittany says no. And Jack's like, you know what? I paid for those boobs, so you're gonna show them. It was
Annoying.
very awkward and demeaning. Great. Now we go to Montauk. The girls are still trying to figure out what a clam bake is, but now they're just looking for a tire. And then Lisa sent Katie a lot of texts because Katie's assisting Lisa. So Katie calls
Hmm.
Lisa, and Lisa's like, "Hey, how are you guys behaving?" And Katie's like, "We're doing really good." And Lisa's like, "You're doing good even though Stassi's near." And Lisa's on speakerphone, and Stassi's like, "What the fuck?" But okay, so Katie calls for clarification on what Lisa needs, and Lisa starts listing all these things, and Katie's not taking notes. And
No.
then Lisa's like, "How about when you get back, you just come over and we'll like go through it again?" And I was like,
I was
"What's
like,
the point of
what
this
was the point
conversation?"
of any of this?
Immediately, when Katie's not taking notes, I was like, "You're the worst assistant in the
This
entire world."
again screams just so fake. Like this isn't actually
No,
happening.
never. Okay, so back to NASCAR. Race is underway. They ride the Ferris wheel. Ariana's having a great time
Hmm.
making out with Sandoval on the Ferris wheel in front of everyone. Everyone watches except Jeremy, who blocks his view. Thank God. Um, but yeah, they basically then pretend to bang on the Ferris wheel, which for me was really awful to watch.
I hated it.
I hated watching what Sandoval's maybe finish faces.
I
It
don't
was
need to know.
awful.
And
It
I
was
didn't need to know
awful.
this.
No one should.
Gross.
Okay, let's go to the clam bake. I was so happy to see the Summer House cast. It is like a whole they're all very blonde.
They
It
are.
looked like a cult for a
It,
second.
it kind of did, especially
It
seeing them in. season 1, which is a few years ago. They just
Yes.
I mean, everybody ages, looks
I
different,
mean,
like changes. It's just like so funny to see
but
them like
like,
as young, like way younger versions of themselves.
just stick with me. The Workuses, Lindsay, Christina, Kyle,
Kyle.
all very blonde. And then you just have
Yes.
Carl and Everett.
And they're all like
And
preppy, like
yes.
whenever they're there for the weekend. And the parties of Vanderpump, this is the moment I realize how different these two shows are, because the party they're throwing is so different than a party or an event that Vanderpump throws, especially
Yes.
beach days. Like they have a whole fucking table on the beach and like tents,
Yeah.
and like it is nice and upscale, and it's like them going to a beach day is like putting down two blankets and like getting
Yeah.
hammered.
There's something really classy about the East Coast.
Yes.
Where even if like we're getting trashed out here, you do it looking fabulous.
Yes.
But then you're trashed. I mean, like later at the house, they were trashed. But they're
Mhm.
in a mansion, so like who cares?
Yes. It
Yeah,
just
it
is
is
such different
such
vibes, and
different vibes.
I loved seeing Vanderpump walk up to
I mean,
this
like, ugh.
event.
Yeah, so the girls walk up, greeted by the Workuses. They did get their outfits perfect, I would say,
Yes.
for a clam bake.
Yeah.
Stassi's very happy because there are young, hot men here that are dressed well. But I'm going to
Yay!
say none of these men are probably who you want to date, but like at least we
No.
have eye candy.
Well,
Just
if there was
knowing them.
anybody in the group that would date somebody from this Summer House crew, it is Stassi. Like the
Well,
vibes.
she is the only single one.
No, but even that unrelated. Like I could never see, what is it, just Carl and
Kristen.
Kyle? No, but Carl and Kyle are the only
Yeah,
single
because
guys,
Everett's in a relationship.
and Steven's gay.
And, oh, I forgot about Steven. He's another
The
brown head, so we're
yeah,
good.
yes.
Thank God.
But still, he's like a light brunette. I could only see Stassi's personality or like aesthetic vibing with these guys, so
Agreed.
it
Agreed.
works that she's the only single one.
So the summer house crew, they leave tomorrow because they have to get back to work. So what usually
Mhm.
happens is like they go out Friday through Sunday or maybe Monday morning, and then they head back to the city so they can like do their real jobs.
Yep.
Stassi doesn't really understand it because every day in LA is basically Saturday. And then like they're like, we don't have real jobs, and Sheena's like, that's fine, we don't want real jobs. Which
I
like
love how like Sheena was like, "I love Mondays. They're my favorite day ever." I'm like,
again,
"Oh
there's
lordy."
there's a sophistication to the summer house crew that I think I can speak for both of us when I say we relate to it a lot more,
Yes.
and that they just seem more grown up. Like
Mhm.
they
Oh
seem more
yeah.
together, even if they're not. At least they have like like real jobs.
I
You know?
I think the Vanderpump crew also just truly doesn't understand what like the 9 to 5 life is, because they've
Yeah,
never worked it. And like in New York, you go out like after work. So I think
yeah.
Vanderpump thinks like, oh, you guys that live such boring lives, you're gonna go to work, Monday through Friday, and it's like, yeah, but I'm gonna go have fun too.
Yeah, you can get trashed on any day in New York. My
Every day that ends in Y.
My other thing I really like, and this isn't spoiling anything, but I feel like once Vanderpump took off, they were like, we
Mhm.
don't need other incomes. We can just do
Yeah.
this. Whereas Summer House, they are used to the hustle and bustle and grind, I will say.
Yeah.
So
And like pride themselves on like a
yeah,
business job.
to me, Summer House is better at like taking their fame and making like a job out of it, like
Mhm.
adding to their real jobs, which I
Yeah.
love. That again does not spoil anything, but I love Summer House. That's why I'm like fangirling over all of
I
them right
know.
now.
I kind of wish we hadn't like we started like season 1 of
I
Summer House
know.
off
I
the
want to
tail of
relive
this.
it. Live
Well,
it.
go listen to season 1. It's out
Yeah,
there.
we have it. Okay, so clam bake looks amazing. Sheena tells the summer house crew that she doesn't really eat fish, so right off the bat, what
She
a
says it
party
like 4
pooper.
times though. Again,
It gets
they always
worse.
clip her, and I know she isn't just saying this stuff back to back, but like you said it quite a few
Yeah, we
times.
got it. You don't eat fish. So Ashley's got the giant rosé, and then we cheers. Happy birthday, Stassi. Dinner is good, but Sheena keeps talking about how she hates fish,
Oh my
and
god.
she's freaking out about how the fish is like near her, and she's really ruining the vibes. And then Kristen also is like, "Ew, the fish," and I'm like, both of you need to just shut the fuck up and eat the
When
salad.
somebody freaks out so much about food even near them, I don't want to go to dinner with
I
you
don't do
because
it.
like you're ruining the experience for me. I'm
Yeah,
cool
even
if you don't eat things, but the minute you talk about it a bajillion times, you're ruining my experience.
Even Kristen, vibes are high. Kristen was like looking at people like, ew, I won't eat that. And I was like, don't ew at the food. Don't ew
No.
at my plate, please.
They're definitely not invited to a crawfish boil because it's way worse.
It's gross, but it's awesome.
Way grosser, and so
Oh yeah, it's
they would
awesome.
hate it.
They also, so all the LA girls, Katie and Stassi specifically, who are like actually doing it, say it's way too much work to crack open a lobster, and it is really not that bad. I have cracked
It
open
really
many
isn't.
lobsters.
Listen, will I happily take a lobster roll over an entire lobster just because it's easier sometimes? Yeah, but it's so
But
much
you
fun
give me-
to like
if
crack it open.
If you give me a free lobster to crack, I'm gonna crack that so
Fuck
dang
yeah.
hell
I
hard.
it's like an experience. I love eating like crab
Yes.
legs, and it's so
I
much fun to be like,
love-
oh, I just got this
Oh my
perfect
God.
piece.
Cracking open like the big crab legs
Yes.
I wish that was a job that I could have and live
I'm
comfortably.
incredible at it. We eat crab
I
legs
am
every
so
year for
good.
Christmas, and like
So we do it for Christmas every year.
it is
I'm
like
so good.
my favorite holiday
It
moment.
is my
I'm
favorite
like,
thing to
this
do.
is it. Mhm.
No crackers allowed. You take that fork.
Oh, we
fucking,
do. And we have like kitchen scissors.
No. You take that fork, you put it against the white part because that's the soft part of the crack.
Yeah.
Suck it out. Oh my God.
We have these great little red type fork thingies that like just are two little claws, and you just rip through that baby and open it wide and let it drop.
The game we play though, because my parents host and they always end up with a bunch of bent forks, is like if you don't bend your fork, you're an expert. So it's like very fun to be like cracking it and being like, I won't bend my fork. There's a way to do it.
Oh man, you're making me excited for Christmas.
We are not meant to be West Coast if they don't even crack their own lobsters, baby. That's my
I don't think they eat a lot. I don't think they really have a lot of lobster.
But they're near the sea, so are they more oysters?
I feel like they're just more fish.
Just like halibut or salmon.
I'm not sure what fish. But like sushi is so big, you know? And like fish tacos and
West Coast fish to eat. Salmon and halibut and flounder. Whereas
God.
I don't know. I need to look this up. Versus East Coast fish. Seafood. That's what I should have looked up. I don't know why I looked up fish. Sorry, this is a pause because I have to know. I have to know.
I also just think there's like certain traditions, or like I think East Coast is more traditional, and so the types of foods that they're eating, and like this clam bake is an event. Like that never, even if they have clams on the West Coast, it's not like a thing. Like just the cultures between the two cities or the two coasts are so different.
Okay, Pacific salmon is like so good, and then there's fish taco, mahi sushi, poke.
That makes sense.
Shrimp. Yeah, and then the East Coast is more like crab and
like shellfish
Although
and stuff.
Yeah. Alaska's got the best crab. The Alaskan king crab,
yes,
that's the best.
So
okay, great.
Good.
Let's go to NASCAR.
God, I'm fucking hungry.
I'm so hungry. Okay, so NASCAR, they're watching the race from their RV, and some guy named Tony Stewart wins, and we seem excited about it. I don't know who this
that
man
up close shot. That's when I was like, "Yep, that sealed the deal on the NBC."
Shout out, yeah. Okay, and then the toilet in the RV is clogged, so they call someone to come unclog it.
Gross.
The boys start singing to the man unclogging it, which is worse somehow than the poop.
This was so fun. I loved this. I thought this was hilarious.
All I could think about was the man cleaning the poop. Like, what the hell?
I know, but I feel like this is like taking a bad situation and making it like fun. Like the East Coast crew could never turn this into fun.
So they don't know who clogged the toilet, but Schwartz thinks it was Jax because Jax uses a ton of toilet paper every time he goes to the bathroom.
God.
So they're going out to dinner tonight. Everyone has to take quick showers. They all shit on Jax for how he spoke to Brittany earlier. So but it's lighthearted. They're like just joking a little.
But I mean, every joke has a little bit of truth. Like they're acknowledging that he's treating her like shit, and that means a lot to her.
Yeah. So they go to Montauk, or we go back to Montauk. Carl tells Stassi that her eyes are incredible. So Carl's making some moves, but he says blondes aren't really his thing. And he just wants to know if the carpet matches the drapes, which is so gross to ask, but thank
I
you.
am so confused at like why guys will say this.
Is it that important to you?
Honestly.
How about you'll never see the the carpet? So,
Yeah, what an ick.
uh-huh.
You will never see it now.
You'll never know what the carpet looks like. Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kristen wants to know who's banged at the table. And they're like, well, Everett and Lindsay are dating. And Katie's like, I'm engaged. And Ashley and Sheena are married. And Stassi tells
Mm-hmm.
everyone she's going through a rough breakup. And as New Yorkers who are harsh and don't have feelings, they're like, what happened? But Stassi's like, oh, I can't talk about it. I'll cry. And they're like, oh,
Oh my
okay.
god, I was like, you're so dramatic over
And then she
this.
like beautifully cries in her interview. Like her tears fall so in sync that I
I
thought it was
was
fake.
so confused at why we're watching her because she wasn't saying anything for a minute. She was just crying.
But it was like two perfect tears. Just fell down her
I
face.
hated it so much because those interviews are after the show shoots. Like, what the fuck? Why are we still crying about
Yeah.
this?
So she says it's hard because her friends and family also like Patrick, which is different because most of her boyfriends they hate. So she's
That
like,
is hard.
what if it's a mistake breaking up with him? And I want to be like, people really liked Ted Bundy and look where he ended up.
Shut
So
up. I'm confused because we never have been told why they broke up. So why are you saying like, oh, what if I regret breaking up? I don't even know why you broke up. If he's so incredible, what is happening? Either give me all the details or
I don't
shut the
know.
fuck up.
They've been on and off for like 3 years, it sounds like. So I don't know why she thinks this breakup is the last one. She's like taking it really hard. I do not know Patrick or their relationship. I couldn't care less.
I stand
Anyway,
by my you get 2 times.
I don't care. I
You
just
get
don't
two
care.
breakups or like two
I do
times to
one.
like start dating again or
I'm
something. But like it can't be
so over it.
8,000.
I don't care. Okay, so Stassi said she tried the apps, and Carl's like, "Why? You don't need it. What happened to just saying hi? How are you?"
That I felt this in my soul because dating apps are so popular now. I was
I
like, get off
Yeah,
my
what did
back.
happen to that? But like, leave me alone. Let me find like,
Leave
well,
me
not love,
alone.
obviously, but let me find what I find out there. I'm just fishing. Let me just fish. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, Katie likes this because she thinks Stassi needs some tough love, and I was like, Jesus Christ, let you
I
guys
do
just
enjoy
live
like Stassi kind of like getting it back because she gives off such like,
with Carl. Well, Carl doesn't give
yeah,
a fuck. He's like, yo,
no.
carpets match the
Stassi's like
drapes.
met her match. Like nobody challenges her like this.
Yeah, these East Coast dudes do not give a fuck.
No.
So Katie is kind of jealous that this crew gets to like do these fun like events every weekend, but it's not worth getting a real job. So they'll just stick to what they're doing.
Again, why do we have
Um
to have like a quote unquote real job to like have cool events? Like step up your game, Vanderpump
I
crew.
think they just want something, you know how like when you work a 9 to 5 you look forward to the weekend, so you plan
Yeah.
fun things. They don't have to do that cuz they wake up and every day is Saturday.
Yes. And like I think their struggle is that not all of their schedules are also different. And so
Different.
there isn't one day that is the weekend day, the Saturday that
Yeah,
everybody's living for.
I
They're
think
just
that's
all
it.
living for the day they're not working and they're gonna make
Yeah.
all of the days fun.
Yeah. So Katie asked Stassi separately if Stassi's interested in anyone, and she says she would normally go for Carl, but she's not happy that he made fun of her on the dating app. And I was like, he didn't really make fun of you. He was just like,
No.
you don't need it, which would be such a compliment if someone told me that.
I agree. And I
Thank
feel like
you.
I would have made that into more flirting whenever he was like, why don't you just say hi? And I'd be like, okay, say hi.
Say hi to me. Are you saying hi? But she's decided she's gonna go for Kyle. And let me tell you, knowing both these dudes, this is probably the better choice at this point.
That
But
is true.
they're no, it's not a
I
good
don't
choice by
know.
any
I
means.
know how this ends up because I've seen these shows.
Well,
Like,
picture it with Carl in season 1. Just that dude,
I
come
know,
on.
but Carl and Stassi, in my mind, fit better together than Kyle.
No.
Like, the two blondes, it just doesn't work for me.
Here's
Like,
my
and their
thing.
energies.
These are both bad choices. She just picked the
Oh,
lesser of two evils
100%.
for
I just think
me.
Carl would be better at flirting with her. And so, like, I would enjoy
No,
watching
I think
that.
he would anger her. I think he would say something
Mm.
offensive. More
Okay, I want
offensive.
to. I
More
want to flirt
offensive
with
than Kyle.
first season Carl. Maybe
I
that's
would
it.
I would date neither.
I don't want to date them, but like if I'm out and about for a weekend, I want first season Carl like to flirt with and
I'd
just a
rather flirt with
lighthearted.
Steven. Like, I hate these
Oh,
men. I hate season
I
one,
didn't
these
know.
men.
I mean, well,
Steven's obviously number one.
let's throw Everett at you. You can have Everett. I know how much
I
you
would
love
rather
him.
have Carl. I would rather have Carl. I hate Everett. Okay, so Lauren invites the girls to go back to the house. Now we go back to Sonoma Valley. We do the quick change for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany does not know what a charcuterie board is, which is, I don't think they were big at this point.
No, I
So
did not shame her for this
it's
because I was
fair.
thinking like, oh, I think it's like 2017. And I
They
was
weren't
like,
that big.
oh, okay. Like I don't think I really
This
knew
was
what a
fine.
charcuterie board is.
I don't think I could say charcuterie at the time, so that's okay. I'm with Brittany. Okay,
Also,
so
for fun fact, it is just the meats technically.
charcuterie. It's not the cheese.
Yeah.
It's just the
No,
meat.
it's fromage is the cheese boards, but they usually put them
Do
together on menus.
do you get crackers still with the meats?
It depends how they want to serve it, but
Oh, I love that.
yeah,
Just
like if you're
give
in
me
another country,
everything.
you will
Just
not get both.
just give me everything, please.
Yes, I want it
Okay,
all.
so everyone at the table starts shitting on Jax for being such an asshole to Brittany this morning. And Jax is like, hey, I can do that because I'm financially supporting her so she can make me a sandwich.
I
And
don't like
Brittany's
this.
like,
I never want to be in this situation.
say, please, if this ever happens to me at this table, immediately kidnap me and do not let me see this man.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad we have this agreement.
Yeah. Just had to put
Now
that out there.
every man of yours I meet, I'm gonna be like, so what's your financial situation with Meredith? How do you feel? If
I
he says anything other than we're equals, I'm kidnapping you.
like I feel bad. Like I don't feel bad on like a first date or like a few first dates, but like I feel bad. Like I want to pull equal weight, and there's different ways to
Same.
pull equal weight, but like
Yeah.
I don't mind like paying some of the bills. Like I like to chip in like early on because like I don't expect somebody to just like pay for me, and I don't want them to ever hold it over my head. Like the
No,
way Jax
absolutely
is
not.
doing this is my worst fear.
Yeah. Even Brittany says I'd give you money. So and
And he makes a
Ariana,
joke about it though. He's like, ugh, like as if that really like helps anywhere.
yeah, thanks for your 5 cents, Brittany, or whatever he says.
Why am I giving you money then?
Ariana fucking hates Jax. Sandoval tries to be like, don't talk to Brittany like that. And Jax is like, you don't have a perfect relationship either. And I was like, sir,
They're not
that is not
fighting
what we're
and
getting at.
screaming at this dinner table. So yeah, they're a little bit of leg
Also,
up than you.
Sandoval currently is not embarrassing his girlfriend in front of all of their friends.
Yes. I
So
I
yeah.
understand Jack saying like they fight too. I bet they do, but they are not doing it publicly, and that's the difference.
Yeah. So Brittany isn't happy that Jax is embarrassing her in front of everyone, but Jax is very mad that his bad behavior is getting called. So he says in his interview that he loved how Brittany was a country girl and does stuff for her man, and now she's becoming an LA girl, and that's really annoying.
I don't understand how she's LA now because you're mad she won't make you a sandwich. Did she make you
She
sandwiches
used
like
to be
every
such a
day?
country girl who would make me all the sandwiches, and now she's saying no. Oh, I fucking hate her.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have moved her to LA.
Maybe you should move to Kentucky. Get with it.
Go work at the Hooters in Kentucky.
Get with it. Yeah. So, anyway, we changed the subject. Ariana noticed that Lala unfollowed her on Instagram and Twitter.
Ooh.
So Ariana does the fucking same. Remember when this was such a diss? And it's like,
I
I
mean, it kind of
noticed.
still is. Like, if I had friends that unfollowed me, I don't think I would notice, but
I don't think I would notice.
whoa.
Whoa is right. Okay, so now we go to Sir. Lala's here. Peter's like, where the fuck were you? And she's like, I'm just here to talk to Lisa. And Peter's like,
Also,
let me
I
go
don't
set
need
him
that
up.
energy from Peter because, like, I had the day off. It doesn't matter where I did or didn't go. Like, get the fuck off my back.
I love Peter. You know, production was like,
I know, but
mad, and he's like,
I was thinking about that. Like,
hey.
my job shouldn't care if I did my original plan or not.
Yeah, no. So, Lala says she turned off her phone all weekend because that's what she does. If she doesn't want to do something, she like avoids.
I have a question then. How did she unfollow Ariana on Instagram and Twitter?
Then I'm thinking, did she shut down her accounts?
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Or like Did she recently
But
unfollow her?
also, you cannot convince me that you shut off your phone. You just can't. You can't convince me of that because it's just like not feasible for someone our age to fully shut down their phone for an
No, I
entire
know.
weekend.
I really want to go to a flip phone, and I've come up with a lot of problems on why I can't have a flip phone for like a
Yes.
week.
We're very dependent, and I can understand a few hours, maybe even a day, but a whole
Yes.
weekend,
No.
you're not even going to call your mom on your phone. Like my mom would think I was dead.
That's the thing. I would be pissed because if I was trying to call you and it went straight to voicemail,
I'm
Alicia, would be
concerned.
so worried about you.
Yes, especially like fine, once your phone's dead. But if I kept calling, you're
Mm-hmm.
murdered. You're murdered as far as I'm concerned.
And like, Ariana reached out to like Lisa. Lisa asked James. Like, no one has
So
heard
people
from
have been
her.
looking for you.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
it's
would.
concerning.
Yeah.
So, Lala and Lisa talk. Lisa's like, I'm fine that you took like time off. I don't really care what you did with it, but the group was very disappointed you didn't go.
Yeah.
And Lisa's like, and this is my group because it's my show. So like, fucking,
So we
what the
have to
hell?
talk about it.
So Lala says she cares about Tom and Ariana, and she should have told them to invite someone else because Lala didn't want to be around Jax. Because the last time they spoke, Jax was telling her to suck more dick for a Range Rover.
I'm
And
not buying
so
this.
me
This is not
neither,
the
because you
reason.
knew from the beginning he was
Yes.
gonna be there. And I
Yes.
understand your anxiety, like getting the best of you, but I think it would also be okay to just be like, I really freaked out about Jax being there. Like, I just don't feel comfortable in close quarters. I'm sorry. Like, just give the reason. She didn't give this
I'm
reason.
wondering now, did boyfriend freak out because Jax is going to be there because Jax tried to bang her last season?
Or Jax and everyone has been shit talking their relationship and he's not happy about that.
True.
Okay, so Lala starts crying because of what people are saying, that she's a homewrecker and she's into this guy she's not even involved with. And Lisa's like, okay, I don't know if the rumors are true. I hope not, but like, get it together.
I'm
And
confused because Lala's like a badass bitch. Like, how is this offending you now? Like, we've been hearing this for like many episodes, and now you're upset, and this is the reason. Like, you don't like these. I'm just so lost.
I
This
think she
excuse is
put
not
up the
working for
front,
me.
right? You put up the front. Eventually, they wear you down. But my other thing is like it's not like they're saying anything new, right?
Yeah.
You know what they're saying.
Well, and she's saying it's not true. So then why does this
It
hurt you?
shouldn't bother you. That's the other
This
thing. I
tells me
don't
it's
know.
true. This
Are
tells
they
me she is dating a married man.
are they tarnishing her name? Is she mad? The thing
Oh,
is, yeah,
fuck that.
if people started a campaign that I'm sleeping with a married man, I'd be like, okay, because it's not true. I'd be like, where's the married man? Tell the wife
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, it does seem like it's true. And he's probably not happy that this is now on
Mm-hmm.
TV. And so her relationship's in
So,
trouble.
well, he like broke up with her, and then it seems like I guess they got back together, and he
Yeah.
probably was like had some demands on getting back together and like what should or shouldn't happen.
Yeah. So it does seem like she's mad on behalf of someone else.
True.
But yeah, so then Lala says, pretending she wasn't hurt was like a job for her. It was like acting. Like, let's just give them something to talk about. And I was like, no. And Lisa too is like, you're just making it worse because
Yes.
now you've lied and they can like get
Be
on
pissed at
you
you
for
for that now
lying.
too. Like, not only
Yeah.
is what they're saying true, but you've also lied to them and like called them liars. And we all know
Yeah.
Jax is a truther. Like, that is
A
one thing
defender
he
of women,
is.
defender of the woman. Okay, so Lala says it's probably best for her to walk away from this workplace. And Lisa's like, don't give up. Don't, you need to grow up and deal with it. And I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I get it. But if I'm also like, for my mental health, I need to leave, and
Oh
someone's like,
yes.
don't give up, I'd be like, don't give up,
I'm here for
girl.
like grow up and like sort out your life.
Deal with it. But you don't have to stay at
Yes.
this restaurant if you don't
No.
want to.
No, but let's be honest, she's not leaving because leaving this restaurant means
No.
she's off the show.
Also, it means that these girls win and she doesn't want
True.
that. And
True.
also, if her boyfriend's not rolling her dough anymore, she needs the job.
Yeah,
So
she will need it to
Lisa,
pay for that Range Rover lease.
we need it. So Lisa says Lala's always gonna be the most beautiful something somewhere, and not everyone's gonna want to be your friend. And Lala's like, You're right. I'm the only one in charge of my own emotions, and so she's not gonna quit. So
Good for
great.
you, girly. You
What a
stick
wild
through
ride.
it.
What a wild ride that was. You had us going, Lala,
That
like you
is
were
true.
really
Really,
gonna
a
quit.
lot of ups and
That was
downs there.
crazy. Okay, let's go back to Montauk, my favorite place. So we're at the summer house, which is a mansion. Kyle,
Mhm.
though, before the LA girls show up, he is really into the single one, Saucy.
Oh my
And
god.
everyone's like, oh my fucking god, it's Stassi, not Saucy.
I
And so
I cannot.
that was
It is
so,
actually
that was
so
so
much
funny.
funnier from the Vanderpump side because
Because we didn't get that in the summer house
no, we
episode.
do. I'm pretty sure we
Saucy?
do.
We don't get saucy.
Yes.
It opens
Yes.
up. It opens up with them in the pool and the hot tub. We don't get him being like, I'm excited
Oh.
for Saucy to come here.
No, I'm pretty sure in
I'll
season
fight
1
about it.
they come over.
No, yeah. We get them in the pool and Stassi and Kyle in the hot tub, but we don't get Kyle calling Stassi saucy before the girls show up.
I feel like we definitely see him struggling with her name.
Yes,
But
because it rolls right in, but he
yeah.
yet to call her saucy, and that was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. So
I can't.
because it rolls in from the hot tub, so we see that scene again, and it goes, but we don't see it
Mhm.
before the LA girls come.
Yeah.
It goes
Okay, so this
straight.
is not episode 1 of the
Not
summer
yet.
house.
Not yet.
This is
I
further
watched
into
on.
their series.
This is still Vanderpump Rules.
No, I know, but this rolls into the first
This
episode
yes
of Summer House. Okay.
from the hot tub.
Okay.
It picks up where it like leaves off.
Okay.
Because you started watching Summer
I
House,
watched it
right?
on Peacock, and so it was all one episode.
Yeah, but it didn't go back to this. It started a whole new episode.
Okay.
This is still Vanderpump Rules. Trust me, I
All right.
expert.
Actually,
So-
I know exactly when it cuts over because the interviews cut over to the Summer House
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That's how I
So-
figured it out.
LA girls, they're so shocked by this mansion, and the New York City girls are like, yeah, I mean, we live in a shoebox most of the time, so. And we're also sharing this house with like 15 people. So
Yeah,
like,
but like Vanderpump, you don't have, your original apartment. I would say their apartment sizes are probably similar, but you don't have an extra place where you go. I guess their extra place is like Lisa's house, but they don't get to stay there.
Yeah. I mean, but like Steven slept on an air mattress this whole time. It's
The
still
season 1 is
cramped.
down and dirty.
It's still cramped.
True.
So drunken Kyle, he gives Stassi a hug and a watermelon margarita. Kristen's obsessed with this house. Maybe she needs a new business and to get into business. She doesn't know what any of these people do.
I do this when I travel. I'm like, all right, I could live this life. You did this when you went to Denver. Like, all right, here we go. We're living a new life here. Like, I love Kristen being like, all right, here we go. Like,
but I'd never
do I
be
need
like,
to be a business
I need to become business now. Like Kristen
Barbie.
has no idea what one of these girls do.
Kristen is Barbie. My job is now business.
Yeah, my job is business. I'm business. Okay, Kyle and Carl, they're keeping the fun meter high. That's their job. And they are both absolutely wasted. And Kyle thinks that Stassi is hot. So now we go back to Sonoma. Fuck me.
Oh man, you had a good old episode.
I know. The Toms are by the fire. Sandoval kind of boned Ariana earlier, so
I hate this.
He got his sex
to ever do this to me. We're not sleeping in a small RV and having like sex all over it.
They finally had their sex.
This is the moment he had to get some. Are you kidding me?
Thank God. Ariana and Brittany talk. Ariana had the best time. Brittany's pissed that and Ariana's like, he's rude and misogynistic, and the misogynistic tendencies are coming out. And Brittany's like, I don't know what that means. And she's like, sexist. And she goes, oh, I know. Okay, I know sexist.
I don't think
Brittany,
she does.
So simple,
Everything he does and saes to you,
is misogynistic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Brittany doesn't feel like she's appreciated, and if he keeps being rude, they're not going to stay together if they're not happy. And I was like, yeah, right, you're not leaving.
I don't think the actual their actual relationship bothers her. It's when he's like shitting on her in front of people.
In public.
That's the only thing she's actually upset about.
Because the other girls wouldn't deal with it. So Brittany's now like, oh no. They're
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
judge
I think
me.
this would still hurt her, but yeah, I think the other people like saying something tells her like this isn't
It's
right.
wrong. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now we go back to Montauk. The girls get in their swimsuits. We look at the best natural boobs we've ever seen around the twins. Everyone gets in the pool. Ashley tells Stassi that Kyle thinks she's beautiful, and Ashley's like, "You need to trust me. You need to go for it." And I was like, "Ashley, you're being a bad friend. Don't tell her
I
to do that."
No, I don't. I if my friend said trust me on this and then I went for it, I'd be like, I do not trust you again.
Ever.
You have bad judgment.
No. But Stassi's really nervous. But
Mhm.
Ashley's like, just be confident in who you are. And man, if there's two girls that are super confident in who they are, it is the Wargus twins. They do
True.
not apologize for existing, which I love, but
Nope.
also they're crazy. So
Yep, especially
shout out.
combined. Like you know that TikTok trend where it's
Insane.
like the blind leading the blind thing?
Them.
They are
They
it.
will kill you because they feel like it
And they will
and
hype each
never
other up into
apologize.
their bad decisions.
That's so bad.
Pre and post. They will convince
It's
each other how
awesome.
great it was after the fact too.
Or they fight about how you made a bad decision. Because never forget all the things Ashley shit on Lauren about.
True, true.
Yeah, it's all
That's because they
bad.
weren't aligned on the bad decision before
It's
it
all
happened.
bad. So, Sonoma, we are back.
Nice.
Schwartz is wearing leather shorts, and then Jax and Brittany talk, and Brittany's like, "Hey, I had fun except for your attitude." And we're talking about the finances in front of everyone, and Brittany says she doesn't feel appreciated. Jax goes, "Same here. Like when I ask for a turkey sandwich and I get ham."
That's not being appreciated. She appreciates
What?
you paying the bills and doesn't shit on you
And makes
for
you
like
a
not helping cook.
sandwich. He's like,
He wants
it's not
a
the right kind.
he wants a transactional relationship. He wants to pay the bills and she'll make a sandwich every day. That's what he
He
wants.
he wants a
And give him
waiter.
sex.
Like he just wants a maid. Oh my god.
Man.
So Jax is like, I don't always want a sandwich, but once in a while I want to come home for lunch and not have to ask for a sandwich, especially when I pay the rent. And I'm like, where are you coming home for lunch from? You don't
Also,
have a
you
job.
want her just to decide that you want lunch and like what sandwich you want and that you haven't had lunch today. She
What
can't read
if
your mind.
What if you get back from, let's say, the gym because your job doesn't start until 3 p.m. and she made you a sandwich and you don't want a sandwich?
He would
What a
complain about
Just
it
come home and say I
and
want a
say,
sandwich.
nicely ask, can you make me a
Can I
sandwich?
have a sandwich? She's not gonna read your mind. Also, what if she made a
Yeah.
sandwich 2 hours before you got home from the gym? Then
And
that
she didn't want it
sandwich
to go
has just been
bad.
sitting there. Yeah, fucking
Like
just
say, I'm gonna
ask.
jump in the shower. Can you make me a sandwich?
Yeah, be nice about it. And be like, make yourself one too so we can share the meal. Jax just alone eats a sandwich. It's his dream.
That's what he wants.
No sandwich
Probably
for Brittany. Too
like
many carbs.
her with a low cut top.
Yeah.
Like while he eats a
Like
sandwich.
Hooters, but sandwiches.
Yeah.
Turkey sandwiches. He hates ham. So Brittany's like, great, but I do a lot for you and don't hold stuff over my head like the boob job, how you always mention that you paid for those.
Yeah.
And Jax is like, it's not about the money. You just need to remember what I've done for you. And
I
Brittany's
could
like,
never forget. You remind me 24/7.
You never actually shut up about it. So he has a painting in their bedroom that says, I paid for your boobs.
Instead of like the Bubba
knows.
canvas,
Yeah,
it says I paid for your boobs. God.
So Brittany's just like, I always make you sandwiches and I do your laundry and I clean the house, which listen up, cleaning the house and doing the laundry is enough. She does not need
Huge.
to, on top of that, make you a sandwich. And I bet she's already cooking dinner. I'll put money on that too.
100%.
So you want an extra sandwich? Jesus Christ. And I bet if he stopped being a bitch about the sandwiches, she would make more sandwiches for him.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like when you just constantly nag someone about it, and it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Like in relationships, there are different things we can nag each other for, but like shut the fuck up and just be nice and ask for one.
And then when you get the sandwich, you'd be like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yep.
So Jax is like, listen, this conversation is pointless because we're going back and forth and we'll never agree. So let's just both try harder and make me a sandwich once in a while.
That I don't know how that's gonna pan out. I'm gonna be
If
honest.
if Brittany does not break up with him, I swear to fuck, which I don't think she will, but I hate this for her.
I also think I hate this more. Like again, I think this is like a role she seems to like, but this is a no for me.
The role is fine. It is him constantly demeaning her about the role she's like taking
True.
on.
And holding everything over her head. The boobs that he wanted her to have.
Yes.
Paying for everything.
Like, I get it. Jax goes to do his job. Fine. He handles all the bills. Brittany then does all the stuff at home. She does not go to Jax's job and is like, you should put a little more mezcal in that drink. But Jax comes home to her job and is like, there's no sandwich and there's dust over there and you're not folding correctly.
Yeah.
Like, just then you
Let
do it all. Then do
That's
it.
a thing. If you don't like how it's done, then do it yourself.
Do it. Yeah, fuck you. In the year of 2023, I hate this man. Like, I hate it.
It is painful to watch this back.
Yeah.
Like, now that I run my own household as a single party of one, I'm like,
horrible.
Do it your fucking self.
Yeah. So, now we go back to Montauk. Everyone's in the hot tub. Kyle's trying to appreciate Stassi's swimsuit, and he does because he gets a little bit of a boner, and he lets her know.
Oh my god.
And somehow everyone's like, you know what? We should clear out of this hot tub, leave Kyle and Stassi alone. And they give me one of my favorite scenes that lives in my head rent free, one of my favorite Bravo scenes ever. So, Katie, though, as she's leaving, she gives Stassi in her mind some words and is like, you should ask yourself, what would Lala do? Because Kyle probably has money. So, and let me tell you, Kyle season 1 does not have a lot of money. Thank you very much. He looks like he does.
He's business, you know? He's doing better than Jax.
He's business Ken. You're right. He's probably doing better than Patrick.
We got beach on the East Coast beach on the West Coast and business on the East Coast. I'll go with business Ken.
He's got business. Okay, so really quick, Kristen has found Tequila Katie. Tequila Katie is here. Oh. Tequila Katie is alive and well. Kristen hates her. Then Tequila Katie takes a handful of frosting and puts it in Sheena's face. And Sheena hates her. And says if Shay had done that at the wedding, she would have gotten annulled. And listen, I'm all about not doing this at weddings. But I
agree. I mean, if you agree to do it, I think that's fine. If this is like your vibe and you want this.
If I tell you do not do this.
But do not make my wedding a mockery of me. It's similar to like what Jax is doing to Brittany. Like, you are not going to make fun of me on one of the most important days, like in front of all of our family and friends.
I do not think Katie stuffing frosting in Sheena's face was that big a deal. However, I think when someone is this drunk and annoying, anything they do,
yes, it's the different level of drunkenness that isn't working here.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, let's be honest, Sheena probably hasn't had one drink because they probably didn't find her a straw.
You're right. She didn't. She needed a straw.
She asked
for
a straw
margarita.
with the margarita.
Yep. So, let's get to my favorite scene. We have Stassi and Kyle in the hot tub. And every time I laugh at this scene, if you go listen to our Summer House one, I laugh at this exact scene in the same way. It's my favorite. So, he compliments Stassi. Stassi's into it at first. She says that she's recently single. Kyle likes recently single.
I'm gonna start saying that. Oh, you're recently single? I like recently single.
I like recently single. People are gonna literally be like, pardon? But I like it. So, Kyle forgets Stassi's name and he's like, Stassi, is that right? And she's like, yes, that's correct. Thank you. Good. So Kyle says he does this with everyone that seems cool. He forgets how to spell their name or just forgets their name.
I was like,
why would you know how to spell anyone's
name?
Like, that is so funny. Drunk, I don't expect you to spell my name, but you should know it.
My dad said the opposite this week. He goes, what's that person's name? And then my mom said it and then started to spell it because it was like, you wouldn't naturally know. And he goes, I know how to spell it. And I was like, then you should have known it.
You should know
if
the
you
name.
know how to spell it, you should have known what the last name was.
That's just so funny to me. What if Kyle was like, what's your name? Stassi? What's your name? Like, I'd be like, pardon? I love Kyle so much. Okay, so Stassi confirms her name is Stassi.
Yep, that's it. But is annoyed.
He then quote says, I've never hung out with someone in a hot tub with a turtleneck on. It's like Steve Jobs.
I think this is funny because I think this swimsuit is so ugly.
It's
Like,
so
who wears
ugly.
a
She does look like Steve
turtleneck?
Jobs.
Like, I would, if I was sitting in this hot tub with her, I would have been like, roasted.
Yeah, that's the thing. If I was watching it, and I think the first time I ever watched it, when Kyle was like, "It looks like Steve Jobs," I was like, "Yes,
Yes.
immediately, yes." Like I was like, "Of course it does." Also, Stassi though is like, she for a second probably doesn't know much about Steve Jobs.
No, that's
Probably
business.
just knows
She
Apple.
does beach.
She just knows iPhone. Whereas Kyle probably looks up to Steve Jobs.
True. Like,
So
this
it's
is
like,
a compliment in his mind. And Stassi, like, prides herself on her, like, fashion. And so a boy telling her she looks like a dude in a turtleneck, the worst thing she could probably ever hear. She's like running back to Patrick now. She's
It's
like, you're not that
just
bad. You're not that bad.
It's so funny because she's offended, but everyone else is like, "Yes, Kyle, we're Team Kyle on." Like, no one watching this was like, "I don't see it." Everyone was
No.
like, "Exactly."
Later in the pool, somebody literally says, "Oh, I see it. I see what you said."
They're like, she's like, "He made fun of my turtleneck," and someone was like, "Steve Jobs?" And she's like, "How?" So you know it's a bad swimsuit. It's so funny.
She burned that as soon as she got home.
Stassi's very upset. She's like, "I look like Steve Jobs?" And he's like, "Yeah, if he bought a white turtleneck, was female, and became hot." So he's not saying like you.
No,
here's the thing. He's not saying you look like Steve Jobs. It's the turtleneck. He's just
Steve
like, Jobs
wow,
thing.
that turtleneck is a
So then when she says,
throwback.
"I look like Steve Jobs," he goes, "If he wore white, was a girl, and was hot." So he's saying like there are differences, but your turtleneck for sure, Steve Jobs. And she's so upset. She's like, "Stop calling me Steve Jobs." And then she gives him lessons on how to make a girl feel special. You should 1, remember their names. 2,
True.
listen. 3, should not say she looks like Steve Jobs. But if this was me, I would fucking be dying because I would be like, I do look like Steve
Yes.
Jobs.
I would never wear a turtleneck bathing suit, but if I was ever wearing even like a turtleneck, I would be like, you got me.
No.
I'd be like,
I would immediately
I love
go, Meredith, I would immediately look at you and go, Elizabeth Holmes.
True. That's way better.
Immediately.
That is a way better compliment.
Honestly, if Kyle was like, "Are you offended by Steve Jobs? Would you rather me say Elizabeth Holmes?" I would have lost it. It was so funny.
Did everything come crashing down with Elizabeth Holmes at this point?
Of course, maybe not.
I don't think timely, but like in today.
Yes,
that's the thing is I feel like in today's world I would banter back and be like, I feel like I'm giving more Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's giving is such a common phrase too.
I would wear a turtleneck, and then on the back there's a sign that says Steve Jobs or Elizabeth Holmes, and people have to tell me who I most look like.
Yeah,
because I don't look like either. But you could pass if you really did your hair
weird. Am I about
weird.
to be Elizabeth Holmes for Halloween?
Please God, do it. I love that is the best.
I've been searching for my costume.
So yeah, Stassi's very upset she looks like Steve Jobs. And Kyle says it could be worse. That's awesome. And Stassi says it could only be worse if you were like a serial killer, which I think Stassi would like better, truthfully.
Yes.
But then Kyle says, "I can see your nipple. I love it." And then goes for a high five.
She was already pissed. It's funny because Kyle doesn't read that like she's unhappy. Pissed. This is not happening at all. He has ruined all of his chances with the Steve Jobs comment. Funny. I mean, he was already on very thin ice with not remembering her name. And the Steve Jobs comment like put him through. Like he's donezo. But adding that, I mean, now she's like, I actually fucking hate you and get out of my eyesight.
Listen, the nipple thing, I'd be like, can you stop? But the Steve Jobs thing is so funny. If it was me, I would have thought it was so funny. Yes. I would have been like, I was going for Steve Jobs.
I think I'd be hyperventilating, crying, laughing.
I wouldn't sleep with Kyle, but I would want to hang out with
No, no,
Kyle
no,
more.
no. I would be like, I am now
We
moving
should
shows.
be friends, actually. I'd be like, Kyle, let's
Yes.
exchange numbers. We're not gonna sleep together,
It
but
would be such a funny inside joke for the rest of your life.
it's so funny. It's just like the funniest thing that's ever been
Yes.
on Bravo. Is this man like Steve Jobs? And she gets mad. If she didn't get mad, it wouldn't be as funny.
No, 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 no.
It's the fact that she gets so mad and everyone sees it. Like even Katie would have been like, "It is Steve Jobs." Like
You know what?
everyone.
I feel like I'm kind of sad like I feel like Summer House. Okay, so premise of Summer House for people don't know, they do like parties on the weekends and have themes.
Mhm.
I feel like they need to do like a trolling Bravo theme, and Kyle needs to come in a turtleneck, a white turtleneck.
They all should come as someone they've insulted.
Uh,
Think
Maybe
about it.
not that. I just think
Why?
funny Bravo moments would be way better.
I think someone you've insulted would be funny because then you have to come
Well,
as
they're
that
gonna come as
person.
each other,
Yeah, fucking that's fine.
I guess.
That's fine. Like Paige would have to come as Lindsay, and that'd be so funny.
Well, I
Like
think
they all
somebody
have
else
to
may have
like.
to come as Lindsay if you're up to date on Bravo news.
Okay, no, nope. So, yeah, Stassi's very mortified, and she's done. She's not gonna sleep with
No.
Kyle tonight.
Mm-mm-mm.
Although if you just want a drunk make out, I would say Kyle's a great person. Just a
I would think. I don't think she's ready for 24/7 surveillance making out though. Like we don't typically
that's
get this type
that's
of
very true.
interaction on Vanderpump.
Yeah. This is very Summer House. It's great. I love Kyle. Cracks me
10
up.
out of
One of the
10.
best Summer House moments ever. Okay, so next time. Brittany and Jax had no clue about what? I have no clue. I don't know. Sandoval and Lala fight. Brittany's mom is in town and Lisa talks to her. James talks to Stassi and Kristen. There's an NDA, and then Stassi confronts Ariana, and Ariana doesn't really give a fuck.
Love that energy.
That I'm excited for. That's the
Mhm.
energy Stassi will always need. Ariana will always win.
Yeah.
I already know.
100%.
Okay, let's do accepted and blocked. We cannot accept the Summer House crew.
No. That's a whole
Because
different.
I would
We already
accept
did
Kyle.
it.
I would accept Kyle. Should we do a fun, not fun, or no, not on this show?
We do
'Cause
fun, not fun
next-
on that show
and
and
Summer House.
accepted block
Should
on
we
this
do
show
one?
for everybody.
No, we won't.
No,
It's
I don't
okay.
think so. We already covered that episode
There was no not fun in this for Summer
in the
House.
Summer House
You
crew.
know?
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
no,
right.
there's no not
Just,
fun.
I mean, we didn't get a lot of every person.
But Kyle would be my fun for sure.
I appreciate that.
Okay, who is your? Let's do accepted.
I'm gonna have to give it to Stassi. I feel like she put herself out there. She's
She
excited
tried.
about this clam bake. Like I feel like her
Yeah.
birthday weekend is finally getting to where she wants to be.
Yeah.
And I appreciate herself putting herself out there, even though it did not turn out well. But she equally gave us a very entertaining moment.
Yeah, honestly, Stassi was my favorite too. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with the other birthday girl. I'm gonna go with Ariana. I'm
Hell
glad
yeah.
her birthday was an absolute success. She looked like she had so much fun at NASCAR. She stood up for Brittany. She's got Brittany's back through stupid ass Jax. And if anyone's gonna
Mhm.
destroy Jax, it's Ariana because Ariana
She got
doesn't
laid.
give a fuck. And she got kind of laid. I love how he's like, we kind of boned. And I was like, I know he's saying it in the sense of not wanting to be like, we totally boned, just like we kind of did. But like, it's funny that you like kind of maybe boned.
He's like trying to downplay it. He's like, we kind of had sex.
It was a half bone.
Just a little bit.
Just like a little, like when you're a half virgin.
I don't want to talk about
it. It was a
this.
half bone. Shout out Mean Girls. It's Mean Girls Day. I was half a virgin when I met him.
Oh my god.
Okay,
blocked. I'm blocking Jax.
I'm blocking Jax.
It is fucking. Honestly, I wasn't even mad at him for like razzing and like making fun of her. Like it's truly when they laid down in that bed and he tried to make his case for like that she's ungrateful.
He like doubled down.
Yeah, it's when he flipped the script on her and said she was ungrateful, and I was like, she hasn't said anything about you paying for anything and how you need to do more.
Everything you said. I fucking hate Jax in this episode. Okay, so great episode, I think, mostly because I love Summer House so much.
Yes.
If you want to get into Summer House, we cover this episode that it goes right in right after.
Mhm.
We have also covered a few other seasons, so check
Yep.
those out on Summer is Fun. But yeah, if you also want to be a part of our after shows and learn about updated Summer House Vanderpump drama, join our Patreon. You'll get the pre-shows as well, just like everything I mentioned. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Thanks for joining. Bye.